And the third thing I decided to do was like, okay, I was reading that people kind of have sex in astral planes. So I decided, okay, I want to have sex. This is me 10 years ago or more, and I found myself on this round staircase. When I thought that, you know, I started thinking about it. So it was like this round staircase with a girl there, and all I could remember was that we were flirting. Hey guys, this is Mike Sigula from TruthTheory.com, and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. So if you are new here, please subscribe because we are covering loads of fascinating topics: consciousness, reincarnation, karma, psychedelics, shamanism, past lives, hermetic philosophy, law of one, tons of interesting concepts, teachings in spirituality, metaphysics, esoteric ideas, mysticism, etc. So if you're new here, please subscribe. And also, if you want to get access to exclusive video content and have some additional perks, check out patreon.com/truththeory. Consider becoming a supporter so we can create more content, and you can ask me some questions there, send me topic suggestions, etc. When you become a supporter on Patreon, you help to fund more videos. So thank you to everyone who is already a supporter, and once again, have a look at patreon.com/truththeory. And now let's talk about today's topics. So I want to talk about my out-of-body experience, and I think it was an out-of-body experience, and I'm not an expert on astral travel or anything like that. This is just an experience that I've had more than 10 years ago when I was exploring all sorts of different ideologies and teachings and practices. So, you know, I had a period of couple of years when I was like hands-on and trying different things myself, and the idea was to test these claims. You know, if you read about people who claim that they can leave their body and travel and do all sorts of cool things, that was like something that I became interested in, right? So I want to just start by saying that I'm not an expert on out-of-body experiences or astral travel or lucid dreaming. And if you are an expert or you've had loads of trips, you do a lot of astral projection, I'm very much interested to hear your views on my experience. So like I said, more than 10 years ago, you know, I've had this period where I really wanted to have an out-of-body experience. I came across people like Robert Monroe, and I had some books. I don't actually remember the titles. Robert Monroe was one of the experts, but I used different books, not from him. So I don't remember the titles, but basically in the books, or in that book that I was reading, they were talking about a couple of interesting things. So in that book, or those, I think were two books, I don't remember, but basically some of the things that I was reading about was that typically you have three different types of experience, right? First one is lucid dream. So lucid dream is just a conscious dream. You are in a dream state, but you are aware that you are dreaming, and you can navigate and you know, do whatever you want. Second option is that you have an out-of-body experience, but in a dream state. And the third option is that you have a normal out-of-body experience where you leave your body and maybe you see yourself on bed, and maybe you see the so-called silver cord, which is like the cord connecting your soul to your body, things like that, or your astral avatar. So this is what they were talking about in those books that I was reading, right? Three different options, right? Another thing was that you have typically 3 types of speed, let's say. First one is just like you float like a ghost because you are a soul in an astral. So basically, you know, you hover like a normal ghost, right? Second option is that you move very fast, you still hover, right? So it's like, let's say, like a train speed, you know, you move very fast. And the third option of travel and speed was that you think and you find yourself in the place you wanted, right? Because it's mental world, you know, it's less physical, it's astral, so things are more fluid, you know, less dense like here, and you can do these types of things. So this is another interesting thing I was reading about in the books. And another bit of information was that sometimes you see things flipped the other way around. So like if you would look at something in the mirror, it's twisted, it's flipped the other way around. Sometimes in astral planes, apparently you can see items or things in this way. So this is another thing I was reading about which happened. And then the technique that I used, so, you know, wasn't very easy. I spent weeks, you know, I tried for a couple of weeks and I couldn't get out of body or anything. And I think it kind of depends. In my view, it's like some people are prone to these types of things and other people are less. Same like with hypnosis, you know, some people can be hypnotized straight away first time, other people have problems with that. And I think I'm the latter because I'm heavily dyslexic, so my mind wanders around a lot and I'm having problems with concentration, sometimes being focused on one thing, and that was the technique. So let me tell you a little bit about the method that worked for me. The technique that I was using, this is more or less, like I said, more than 10 years ago, but basically you go to sleep and you have to wake up in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m. let's say, something like that. When you are in deep sleep, you have more synchronized brain waves, you are in the deep sleep state. You wake up for a moment and you try to put your attention on, like, you know, you close your eyes and you look at the point, black spot, let's say, and you try to leave the body while you're, you know, so like put your attention forward or something like that, while your body is falling asleep again, because it's very easy for you to fall asleep when you know, wake up in the middle of the night for a moment and you quickly go back to sleep. So that's why you do it in that moment. You know, like I said, this was more than 10 years ago, so I hope this is all correct with like this focusing thing. I don't remember all the details, but if you know this technique, let us know in the comments, because maybe there was like a little bit of a difference. But basically it was about waking up in the middle of the night, staying conscious for a few seconds, trying to fall asleep quickly, and trying to put your attention on something in front of you while your eyes are closed, and try to, you know, leave the body while the body falls asleep. So this is more or less the method that I tried that worked, and I think I even used some supplement at that time that kind of helped me to stay more sharp, because basically, like I said, my mind is just wanders around a lot because of dyslexia, and I have always problems with like staying focused on one thing constantly. So I remember using some supplement to help me to have that attention. But basically that was the technique. It's simple. Wake up for a moment in the middle of the night, try to fall asleep quickly, but you keep your mind focused and try to leave the body. The idea is that basically once your body falls asleep and your mind stays focused, this is where it happens, right? So this is what I had, right? If you have a different experience, let us know. And what happened was that I found myself in very familiar place in my hometown in Poland, in Krakow, and I knew the area and there were people there, and there was like a tram stop, like a bus stop, like a tram stop, but like I was reading about, it was flipped the other way around, so like a mirrored reflection, right? And there were people there, and I was floating like a spirit, like a ghost, you know, moving like this, not walking, but just hovering basically. So, you know, I decided to let's explore, and I started doing things that I was reading about. So first thing I was reading about, you cannot hurt anyone. Okay, so I decided I'm gonna punch someone in the face. You know, I was reading that you cannot hurt anyone in the astral planes, so I decided, okay, let me punch someone. And I just hovered to some guy, and all I could see, he was just making like strange faces, like, oh, what you're doing. But because the communication was telepathic, so I couldn't hear anything. I just saw his facial expression that looked very like, what are you doing? Things like that, right? So that was like the first thing. You know, I tried to punch this guy basically, and he just started making some funny face. Another thing, you know, like I said before, I was reading about 3 types of speed, let's say. First, just normal hovering, like a ghost. Second, you just move very fast. You just float like a train or something like that. Let's say 100 kilometers an hour or whatever, like you move fast. And the third one, you think and you find yourself anywhere you want to be, right? So this is what I've read in those books at that time. And I decided, okay, let me go to another place that I recognized, I know, and I did the second speed. So I started moving fast, like, you know, like this, like floating very fast. And the third thing I decided to do was like, okay, I was reading that people kind of have sex in astral planes. So I decided, okay, I want to have sex. This is me 10 years ago or more, and I found myself on this round staircase. When I thought that, you know, I started thinking about it. So it was like this round staircase with a girl there, and all I could remember was that we were flirting. So she was basically like making some nice gestures and face, like she liked what I was communicating, whatever, but it was telepathic, so I didn't get what we were talking about. So this is my experience. I don't remember anything after that, and from what I understand, it was the second option, so out-of-body experience in a dream, right? It wasn't like I left my body and I saw myself in the room. It was more kind of like a dream, but all these things that I was reading about in the book, basically about like seeing some things the other way around, like a mirrored reflection, hovering, 3 types of speed, telepathic communication, things like that, that was there. So in my view, this was option number 2. So basically an out-of-body experience in a dream state. It wasn't like I straight away saw myself floating above my body. It was kind of like a dream, but all these things that you normally have during an out-of-body experience were there. So this is my view on what happened. Like I said, I'm not an expert on astral projection or conscious out-of-body experiences. And for me, it was just to test if these claims are real or not. Let me know what you think about it. And if you are someone who is doing a lot of astral traveling, astral projection, I would like to hear your thoughts on my experience and the technique I was using as well, and share with us your techniques as well. And if this content resonates, please share it with your friends on social media, give us a like, let us know what's going on in the comments, and thank you for checking another episode of True Spirituality. Until next time.